Here is my honest piece of advice before you move to New Zealand. This is coming from a Brit that's lived here for the last 6 months, and I'm going to share with you today one piece of advice that I recommend before you move to New Zealand. So in one of the last videos I did about New Zealand, I mentioned about the fact that we've moved here specifically for work. We've moved here to Auckland and we've had this apartment set up, which has been great for us, and we've moved here for work. The initial plan was to go to Australia, but we couldn't get the visa in time, as I explained before. But yeah, that's the reason we are here in New Zealand and we're in Auckland. I'm not gonna lie, we haven't really left Auckland that much. We actually went home for Christmas, so that was our big trip. We've done a few little day trips out of the city, but we haven't traveled New Zealand at all. And I get a lot of comments that say, oh, Auckland isn't New Zealand, like get out of Auckland, there's so much to see in New Zealand. And that's been one of the frustrating things with being here, because we've had work here, we've been trying to save up and stuff like that after doing a lot of traveling last year. Yeah, we needed to work, and it's the reason we haven't been able to travel New Zealand as much as possible. But this is my advice for anyone that does want to come to New Zealand, and that is, don't just come to Auckland and stay here like we have. We haven't had much choice, as I've said. However, New Zealand looks absolutely amazing, especially the South Island. There's so many incredible places to travel there, that's for sure. And I said this about Australia. Anyone who's moving there, I highly recommend that they travel before they just settle in the first place they arrive. And it's the exact same advice that I have for New Zealand. I would definitely, if you get the chance moving here, travel a lot to see where your favourite places are, because where we've been forced to live in Auckland pretty much, it kind of has been frustrating that we haven't been able to travel as much. And knowing that that's so close to be able to travel in New Zealand is frustrating, knowing you're stuck in Auckland working for a while. And I know that a lot of people moving to New Zealand, you won't just move to Auckland, because obviously the South Island and stuff looks amazing. That would be my advice. You might want a big city life, but I'm not gonna lie, people moving to New Zealand, I doubt that you're gonna want the big city life. Most people move here for the nature, for the mountains and the lakes and stuff and the scenery. I doubt many people coming here do want to move to Auckland. If you're a backpacker on a working holiday visa, then definitely check out Auckland. You're probably going to fly to Auckland realistically if you're coming to New Zealand, so I would recommend checking out the city for a few days. If you are looking to stay in Auckland, some really popular places are actually the islands. Waiheke Island, where we actually went last week, is a very popular place for travellers and backpackers to work. One thing about Auckland, the city, is there's literally no backpackers. Not like the cities in Australia, where there's so many English people, so many young travellers. In Auckland, I don't think I've seen any young English travellers in the whole time here, which is pretty mad, to be honest. We're going to places like Waiheke. There is actually quite a lot of young, travellers and stuff. So if you're looking to stay in Auckland, I would recommend somewhere like that. Yeah, visit Auckland. I would recommend travelling as much of New Zealand as possible. If Auckland's your favourite place, then obviously come back, but I would recommend travelling as much as possible, because as I've mentioned in other videos, Auckland hasn't been my favourite place. That's just an honest opinion. I don't hate it here. I think it's a really nice city. However, a combination of living in the city centre and also having been in Australia before has shown me that, yeah, it's not my favourite place. Living in the city is not ideal, and generally we preferred the lifestyle and everything like that in Australia a lot more, but that's just a personal opinion. I do think if we had been able to travel New Zealand and actually see our favourite places and live somewhere that we liked the most, which I definitely recommend for you guys, I think we would have had a whole different experience in New Zealand, that's for sure. A lot of you that comment saying, oh, you can't review New Zealand, you've only been in Auckland. Yeah, I get that, but I can only speak from my personal experience, which I always do. And any negative views are, yeah, just my honest opinion. And I think, yeah, I know that staying in Auckland has been the reason for a lot of that. Like I said, if we got to travel New Zealand, we would have got a whole new perspective of the place, that's for sure. So yeah, this video is aimed at anyone who's moving here. Definitely move around, check out as many places as possible before you settle. And generally, as a point of advice, I would avoid Auckland if you're a traveller. Not for visiting. I would recommend visiting for sure. Do a few days here. Definitely do the touristy bits. In terms of living here as a young traveller, I wouldn't recommend it. That's just a personal opinion. I'm sure there's lots of other spots in New Zealand where there is a lot more backpackers. So yeah, that's just a heads up for you guys who might be considering Auckland. You might like it. For me though, it's not a place which has got a lot of travellers and stuff like that. So thanks for watching. If you need any other help, leave some questions in the comments. That's just a point of advice about New Zealand. Travel as much as possible before you settle. We would have done for sure if we had the chance, but we kind of didn't, and that's why we're in Auckland. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon with another video.